Welcome to the Manna at the Tap podcast and the new liturgical season after the day of Pentecost. I'm Gloria, and I have the pleasure of hosting this podcast. It is not just another podcast, but a journey of spiritual exploration designed to offer your palate daily manna. It provides a fresh perspective on biblical teachings, allowing you to feast on spiritual food for the soul. As we embark on this new season after Pentecost, we invite you to join our community by listening to the daily biblical readings and following the daily prayers on our website, tapestryministries.ca, and engaging with this podcast as well. You will deepen your spiritual understanding and feel a sense of connection with others who are on the same journey. The lectionary reading for today is appropriate for Pentecost. It is from the minor prophetic book of Joel, chapter 2, verses 18 to 29. Joel's book consists of 3 chapters and 3 main sections. The book is of unknown origins, but its content falls into the familiar body of oracles of desolation and consolation. Section 1 focuses on what Joel's audience is presently experiencing. There's the plague of locusts that have invaded the land like an unstoppable army. The prophet Joel warned the people this was a judgment from the Lord, and the people were to respond by repenting before the Lord, beginning with the priests. The second section was for the people to transition to thoughts of a spiritual nature beyond what was happening at the time in their lives. That was because the day of the Lord was near, and they were to sound the alarm. A mighty foreign army was about to invade them, and the people's only hope was to repent, including fasting, weeping, and lamenting. This was the second repeated call for the people to repent and consecrate themselves to God. Moving forward to the third section, despite all the challenges and desolation, a threefold response from the Lord is about to emerge. And here we are at the lectionary reading for today, Joel chapter 2, verses 18 to 29. It is a testimony to the Lord's faithfulness, the bounty on the land, the blessings of the Lord on the people, and the benefit of the outpouring of the Spirit. That's the threefold response that we are going to be looking at today. And it reminds us there's hope and light in the darkest of times. The lectionary reading begins with a vision of abundance, in stark contrast to what had occurred as the people suffered, watching helplessly as their lives were falling apart. They had turned away from God, and when one lives life without God, somehow it leads to a model of scarcity and a lack of meaning. The lectionary text offers a vision of life with God full of bounty, blessings, and benefits. This will lead to positive emotions of joy and gladness rather than constant worry and anxiety. So let's begin with bounty. The seeds had been scattered over the fields, and that's the seeds, had been scattered over the fields, and the people were relieved of anxiety when the early and the late rains fell and watered their crops. They knew this was a bountiful. This was a sign of a future that was full of hope. The Lord promised them the gift of a bountiful harvest. There would be grain, new wine, and olive oil. The basic staples would be in bountiful supply, so they would never be an object of scorn. Remember that mighty army that was coming to destroy them? The Lord said he would keep them from Israel's shore by killing them or drowning them even before they arrived. Number two, the blessing. The earth would be healed, and trees would be bearing fruit again, and all would celebrate as the fields and the meadows were greening up. The people's heart would rejoice as they saw with their eyes the blessing of a bumper crop of fig trees and grapevines. The people had to be trained, though, to live right and be glad in the Lord their God. And using the metaphor of blessing, the teaching, like the rain out of heaven, and the showers of words were to refresh and nourish their souls. They also needed plenty of food for the body, grain that they could store up, casks of wines, and barrels of olive oil. Abundant blessings would be on the people. Like the filling of a sandwich, I quote to you the I wills of the Lord from Joel chapter 2, verse 25. Here's what God said. I will. I will restore and make up for the years the locust, that great locust devastation, that locust invasion I sent your way. And then in 26, you'll have plenty to eat until you're full, and you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. Never again will my people be shamed and despised. Then to 27 of Joel's chapter 2. Then you will know that I am in Israel, the Lord your God, and that there's none other. That's an indication of monotheism, one only God. Never again will my people be shamed. Number three, we go to the benefit. Like a slice of bread to cover a sandwich, there is the coming of the Spirit. And Joel, verse 28 of chapter 2 states, after that, I'll pour out my spirit on every kind of people. Sons and daughters will prophesy, older men will dream, and young men will see visions. The benefit of the Spirit is that everyone is embraced. The Spirit transcends gender, age, social status, and even those on the fringes of society. Joel's word to us today is a simple promise. Turn away from the idols of your life. Return to God, and we are promised an abundance from the hand of the Lord as we embark on this new season of after Pentecost.